Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PGDR. Nice to see you guys here. Today I'm pretty much going to show you guys the first game that I ever created. I think I created this around, let's say, 6 months ago or so. This game, I called it Card Test. It's a very simple game, y'all. You know, not that very impressive, y'all. However, you know, I want to take you on this journey and pretty much not only show you, you know, what was my actual first game, kind of what was going on through my mind and what was, you know, the concepts and that I chose to use when making this game and, you know, all my difficulties and challenges while making it. So without further ado, man, let's get into it. Let's begin. Now, I don't know if you guys ever seen any of those rollerball games. This game is very similar to that. The only difference is instead of a rolling ball, it has a car, and I am about to die. But yes, y'all, instead of a rolling ball, it's a car instead. And the idea to this was basically I wanted to make something that was pretty simple, that was, you know, pretty much all I really had to do was just add force to the game object and whatnot, or hashtag player, and just have it keep on accelerating at a calculated, you know, speed and whatnot, or should I say a calculated force, while just, you know, dodging basic obstacles, like nothing too, you know, too complicated and whatnot. My main concept that I had on this in my head was I just wanted to make something really simple, you know, something that can be easily replicated, you know, something that was not too out of the ballpark. You know, whenever you make games, y'all, you never want to make anything that's too hard. That's never a good idea. You want to start off with something that's really simple, and that's what I did here. This is level 2 right now, and as you can see, guys, it gets progressively a little bit harder as we keep on going. But yeah, a few of the difficulties that I had while actually making this game was, for example, one of the difficulties was, as you can see on the top of the screen, I have a score count. That score count was actually, it actually tracks the player's transformer. The player's transformer basically means the position of the player, which is, in this instance, which is the car. And yeah, it pretty much tracks that, and that was kind of a difficult, you know, aspect for me to code. That was probably one of the most difficult things, but I figured it out in the long run. You know, it was just a bit of code that I had to like keep on trying. You know, I had to keep on, you know, fixing it up. Okay, this doesn't work. I will tell you one thing, y'all. While making this game, Google was my best friend. I was on Google so much, y'all. I was on Google like literally every single day, as most game developers are, but especially for this game in particular, I was on Google. That's something that kind of helped me through a few of my challenges. Another challenge I would say that I had was trying to get everything leveled and trying to get everything nice and flat. If you notice, a lot of the obstacles here, you know, they're nice and flat and whatnot, and they're not like jagged and edged or, you know, too much to the left or off even and all that. I had to adjust the transform of not only the player but all the pieces accordingly, so more or less everything looked straight on the up and up. You know, it didn't look too crooked. I pretty much just figured out, in order to solve that, was just put the transform for all the items all the way to 0. So put the X, the Y, and the Z to 0, and it pretty much just centers all the objects. And then from there, you know, it's much easier to move it around from there. Another suggestion I would suggest is go into grid mode and look at the entire playing field through an isometric view perspective, and that way it's actually a lot easier to place down your obstacles, so that way you don't have to manually do it one by one. Although this is my first completed game that I ever made, y'all, this isn't the first time I attempted to make this. I think I attempted to make it around 2 or 3 times. The first time it was completely broken, nothing worked. The second time it worked, but it wasn't well made. It just looked really crappy, and it didn't have a UI, didn't have an end, you know, didn't have a start screen, didn't have an end screen, didn't have any of that. And this is technically my 3rd time, but this time, you know, after a while of a break, because I had to take a bit of a break because my computer broke. This time around though, y'all, it was much better, man. Like everything's on point more or less. And yeah, man, I enjoyed playing this game, man. So far, I think I've only made it 3 levels. As soon as I get past this last part up ahead, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, guys. Overall, this was a pretty good project. It was something really simple that you could do yourself. You know, something really simple. You know, it was really worthwhile. You know, it taught me a lot. It taught me how to use UI. It taught me, you know, how to code, how to have the main camera, follow the player. Because if you notice, guys, the camera is actually following the player as the player, you know, trugs along and whatnot. And yeah, man, I learned how to do that. You know, I learned how to, you know, put obstacles nice and even in the most effective way. And yeah, guys, man, it was a lot of fun making it, to be quite frank with you, man. It was a lot of fun making it. Yeah, I also learned how to, you know, how to, restart the game. Like for example, I just died and it automatically restarted it, but I didn't want it to restart immediately, so I put a little bit of a delay on it. If you guys want to make a game kind of like this, I will have a tutorial in the future on how to make this game. However, there's an actual really great tutorial which I'm gonna leave in the description, and it's part of where I got, well, I would say it was a big inspiration for me while I was making this game. It was a very, very big inspiration, and it also gave me a few tips here and there on how to do some of the things, in this game and how to accomplish it. And I'm gonna leave that video. His name is Brackies. I'm gonna leave it down below in the description. So if you guys want to, immediately just get jump started on it, you guys could definitely, take the opportunity. As you can see there, the car kind of flipped over because of the ground. Yeah, because it was a little bit uneven. But like I said, y'all, it's your first game, man. And the thing about your first game, y'all, is that you don't want it to be perfect, because it can't be perfect. Your first game will never be perfect, the same way as your first YouTube video. It will never be perfect. These things you gotta keep on going and keep on making them and keep on working hard, and throughout time eventually you'll get better. It's same thing with game development, same thing with YouTube. The more videos you make, the better you'll get. The more projects you make, #games, but they don't necessarily have to be games, completed games, that is. But regardless, the more projects you do, the more videos you do, the better you'll get. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. As always, y'all, if you guys enjoy content like this, also don't forget to hit that sub button. And please, guys, don't be a stranger. Hit that comment button up. Let me know what you guys think about this game. Personally, to me, I think it was a bit crappy, but that's how it is when when you're first starting anything. You start from the bottom, you got to work your way up. And yeah, man, they're only the games that I produce, going forward, I have a lot more to show you guys, that's for sure. But yeah, man, there's just there's a lot more fun and a lot more games for me to show you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, without further ado, man, I'll see y'all later. Peace.